dyeing my hair. See, it's a little bit brighter, and I did black here, or over here. Back to normal. Anyway, this next portion you're going to see is going to be me cooking. It'll be like Rachel Ray, except for without my own talk show. Okay, tonight we are having lemon chicken. So, and I hope you can hear me. I'm going to try to project a little bit. So basically I'm going to kind of go step by step and kind of show you what I do. This isn't taken from anywhere. I kind of make stuff up as I go along. So, but this is really fun. So basically the first step is going to be the chicken. I get boneless chicken breast, but you still have to cut off little pieces of it. So I'm going to do that very quickly. Okay. Once they're clean, typically with lemon chicken, once everything's clean, usually you use a meat tenderizer. Usually that means getting out plastic wrap or wax paper and pounding them out until they're super, super thin. What I do, if I don't want to spend the time on it, is I take a very, very sharp knife and I get thicker chicken breasts and I actually cut them in half lengthwise, and I'll kind of show you what I'm doing here. But it's a really easy way to get them super, super thin. Basically, just take it in your hand. Just be really careful if you're not comfortable with the knife. And there you go. Alright, the next part is going to be the lemon that we soak it in. And usually I like to soak the chicken for about an hour maybe, but you want to keep an eye on it because with lemon chicken, the acid in the lemon will actually cook or cure the chicken, and you don't want to do it, like I wouldn't do this overnight or for more than probably 2 or 3 hours because the chicken will actually start to dissolve in the acid. You can make it weaker if you want, but I really like the intense lemon flavor of using a lot of natural lemon juice. I have 3 lemons here that I'm just going to juice real quick. Keep 2 of the lemons. You can either just keep the rinds or you can do this beforehand. What I'm going to do is zest the lemon afterwards. So lemon juice goes into a bowl. And my secret ingredient is a lime. This adds a little bit more sour kind of bitterness to it. Lemons are actually kind of sweet and sour. And I just use 1. So I just did my lime. Add that. I'm going to take my microplane and I'm going to do the zest of just half of the lemon. This is going to add more of that really sour, intense flavor to it. If you don't have a microplane, you can actually use a sharp knife or even a serrated butter knife and scrape it across the front. You just don't want to get too much of the pit, too much of the white part. You want to get all of the yellow off though. Alright, next I'm going to add about a little less than a 1/4 cup of olive oil, good olive oil. Give it a quick whisk. The smell is really intense. A few more things I add. Here again, this is just stuff I played around with and little tiny things. I use just like a capful of really good balsamic vinegar. Balsamic vinegar, when it's cooked, you can reduce it to a really, really sweet syrup. It's actually used on a lot of desserts. So what I do is I use that because I like the sweetness with the really, really tart, sour flavor of the citrus fruit. The other thing I usually add is, I like to use fresh whenever I can. The other thing I add is fresh garlic. I actually don't have any fresh garlic right now, so I'm just going to use garlic powder. I just want to use a lot less powder than I would actual minced garlic. It's really strong. I'm going to do this in a clear container so you can see. Basically, it's just going to look kind of murky. What you want to do after that is just take your chicken breasts and you're just going to layer them inside. My favorite thing to do though is to grill them. So I just use a George Foreman grill. They work fantastic and it takes like 5 minutes. So it's super easy. So that's about ready to go. I'm going to put that aside. And I have my George Foreman grill set to medium and it's preheated. What I'll usually do is I'll add the extra lemon juice that we have into a saucepan, bring it up to a simmer, and let it simmer for a couple minutes. Because A, we need to cook off the fact that the chicken was sitting in it, and B, it'll make it a little bit thicker. And then that'll be poured back over the chicken and be really good. The other thing we're going to add is basil. This basil came right from my garden. Most of the time you can buy it in the supermarket, and you can actually buy stalks of it. Some of the tops I'm going to keep to leave so that we can actually put them as garnish. I'm big on garnishes, even eating at home. Take the bigger leaves, and stack them up. I roll them lengthwise, and just give them a quick chop. Perfect. Alright, I'm going to check on the chicken. They're only going to take a couple minutes. In fact, they'll probably just about finished now. So I'm going to check the chicken, and I'm going to put the pasta on to boil. Okay, I just took the chicken off. So just in that matter of time, me chopping up the herbs, the chicken was finished. One thing I did was I did cut a small piece open just to make sure that it was done inside. But what you want to do is you don't want to cut into any of your chicken. Let it sit at room temperature for about 10 minutes. If you cut it right away, all the juices are just going to pour right out. So this will help it stay kind of juicy. A side story that I have to tell, and it's definitely a funny if you were there kind of story, but this is for Maggie really. Maggie came over and helped me out. We were having our Christmas or New Year's party, I believe. She'll correct me if I'm wrong, but it was, oh no. I don't remember. We sometimes just have parties and have parties. So we were having a party, and she came over to help me out with the food. And we were doing feta cheese and spinach triangles in phyllo dough, and some chicken, I'm sure, or something like that. So I came out to preheat the oven at 350, which you use for the triangles, and I start to smell like plastic. And you know, when your oven's preheating, if you have things on top of it and you warm up, it can kind of smell. So it didn't really hit me. And then it really started to smell like plastic, and I saw smoke. I pulled open the oven and realized we were storing our George Foreman grill in the oven. I had George Foreman grill dripping through my oven. So we had to pull everything out. The cord was melted onto the rung. It like pop, 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 pop off the rung. The casing around the George Foreman grill was just, it looked like it was sagging. So luckily we got it all, no damage to the oven. The Foreman grill was completely toasted. So we got another one then for Christmas. But so that's my George Foreman story. If you're going to bake a George Foreman, 350 is maybe a little too high. I'd go a little lower.